All right, we're back to do the second half, Deuteronomy chapter 2. We're going to read the Hebrew first and then go into the English. All right, so this is Deuteronomy chapter 2. It starts with on a pun. So, one a pun, one a sai, hama daba raw, the rock yum, sawap kashra, the bar, Yahweh alya, one a sab athar, sha'ayar, wa yawumyum, rabium, verse 2. Amar Yahweh alya la amar, verse 3. Rab lakam sab ath hahar, Hazah Panwa Lakam Taza Panar, verse 4. Wa'ath Ha'aim Tazawa La'amar Atham Ibadyam Baga Bawo Akyakam Bunyam Aishwa Haya Shabyam Basha Ayar Waya Yarawa Makam Wana Shamartham Ma'ad, verse 5. O Thathagarwa Bum Kaya La'a Athan Lakam Ma'ara Tazum Aid Madarak Kap Ragol Kaya Yara Shah La'ai Wa Salak La'ai Shaw Nathathia Athar Sha'ayar, verse 6. Akol Tasha Barwa Ma'atham Bakasap Wa'akotham Wagum Mayum Thakarwa Ma'atham Bakasap Washafyatham, verse 7. Kaya Yahweh Alahayakam Baraka Bako Ma'aishor Yadka Yadai La Kafka Ath Hamadabar Hagadol Hazah Za Arabayim Shana Yahweh Alahayakam Salak Alahayaka Aimka La'a Kasarath Debar, verse 8. Wana Ibar Ma'ath Akyanawa Bunyam I Wah Salak Aishaw Haya Shabyam Basha Ayar Mada Rak Ha'ira Ba Ma'aha Salak Ma'ayaloth I Tazayun Gabar Wana Pun Wana I Bar Darak Mada Bar Ma'awab. Verse 9. Wa Amar, it's like Waya Amar, Yahweh Alya Al Tazathar Ath Mawa'ab Wa Al Thathagar Bum Malaka Ma Kaya La'a Athan Laka Ma'aratazawa Yara Shah Kaya Labunyam Lawat Nathanya Ath Ire Yara Shah, verse 10. Ha'a Salak Ha'amyam Lapunyam Yeshabwa Baha Aim Gada Wo Warab Warum Ba'ai Nakyam, verse 11. Rapayam Yaka Shabwa Apham Ka'ai Nakyam Wahama Abyam Yakwarawa Laham Amyam, verse 12. Wabasha Ayar Yeshabwa Bai I Wash Rashwam Wayasha Mayadyam Mapunyam Wayashabwa Thaka Thum Ka'ashira Aisha Yasha'ala La'arataza Yara Shafwa Ashira Nathan Hawa Laham, verse 13. I tha Kumwa Wa I Barwa Lakam Ath Nakal Zarad Wana I Bar Ath Nakol Sarad. Verse 14. Wahayal Mayam Asherah Halakna Makwadash Baranai Aid Asherah Ibarna Ath Nakol Zarad Shalashim Washa Mana Shana Aid Thumb Kol Hada War Anasha Hamala Kama Makorab Hama Kana Ka'ashara Nashaba Yahweh Laham. Verse 15. Wagam Yad Wagam Yad Yahweh Ha Yatha Bum Laha Mum Makorab Hama Kana Aid Thamum. Verse 16. Wayahaya Ka'ashara Thamwa Kol Anasha Hamalakama Lama Wath Makorab Ha'ain. Verse 17. Wayadabar Yahweh Alya La Amar. Verse 18. Athor Ibar Haya Wum Ath Gaba Wol Mawa'ab Ath Ire. Verse 19. Wakara Bath Mawal Bunyam Ama One Ol Thataza Rum Wa'ol Thathagar Bum Kaya La'a Athun Ma'arataza Bunyam Ama One Laka Yara Shaw Kaya Labadyam Salak Labunyam Lawat Nathasyaha Yarashah. Verse 20. Arataza Rapayim Thakashab Ap Hawa'a Rapayim Yeshabwa Baha Lapanyam Waha Aimanyim Yakurawa Laham Zama Zumyim. Verse 21. Aim Gada Wo Warab Warum Ka'inakyum Washa Salak Waya Shad Waya Sham Yadam Yahawa Mapanyaham Waya Rasham Waya Shabwa Thakha Thum. Verse 22. Ka'ashara Aisha Lapanyam Salak Labunyam I Shaw Haya Shabyam Basha were Salak Basha Ayar or Ashara Hashama Yad Ath Hakarya Mapanyaham Wayara Sham Waya Shabwa Thaka Thum Aid Haya Wum Hazah. Verse 23. Waha'awa Yum Haya Shabyam Bakha Tazarium Aid Izor Kapatharium Haya Tazayim Makaparat Salak Makapathar Hashaba Yadam Wayashabwa Thakathum. Verse 24. Kwawumwa Saiwa Waibarwa Ath Nakol Ara Nun Ra'am Nathathya Bayadka Ath Sayakan Malak Kashabwan Ha'amaria Wa'ath Ara Tazawa Hakol Rash Wahatha Gar Bawa Mala Kama. Verse 24, 25. Salat Hayawun Hazah Akol Thaf Pakadka Wayara Athka Ayel Panya Ha'aimyam Sakath Ko Hashama Yam Salak Hashemayim Asherah Yashamaywan Shamaika Wara Gazwa Wakowa Mapunyaka. Salak. Whoever just dialed in, can you go on mute? There's some background. Whoever just dialed in. Lastly, if you can put your phone on mute, either press *6 or Put your phone on mute itself.
Yo, man, come on, why don't you turn that down?
All right, so we have verse 26. Shalak mala akyam mama dabar quada mawaf o sayakwan malak shabwan dabaria shalawum la'amar. Verse 27. Ba'aratiza salak ba'aratizaka Badarak halak la'a asa war yum washa mawa. Verse 28. Akol baka sap dasha bunt dasha barno naya wa akol thea wama yum baka sap the thun laya washa the yathya rock bara Golia. Verse 29. Ka'ashara I shaw liya bunyam I shaw haya shabyam basha ayar waha ma wabwa salak wahama wa abyam haya shabyam ba'ir aid ashara bar ath haya radan al ha'arataza ashara Yahweh al-hayanawa Nathan lanawa. Verse 30. Wala'a Abba Saya Khan Malak Ka Shabwan Ha'aibarnawa Bawa Kaya Hakwa Shaw Yahweh Alahayaka Ath Roka Salak Rokawa Wa'amataza Ath Lababwa Lama'ain Fathwa Bayadka Kaya Wum Hazab. Verse 31. Waya Amar Yahweh Olya Ra'ah Haka Lathya Thath Lapunyaka Ath Saya Kun Wa'ath Ara Tazawa Hako Ra Salak Rash Lara Shath Ath Ara Tazawa. Verse 32. Waya Taza Sayakun Lakwa Ra'athnawa Hawa'a Wako Aimwa Lamalaka Ma Yaha Tazar. Verse 33. Wayatha Na Yahawa Alahayanawa Lapanyanawa Wanak Ath Salak Athwa Wa'ath Bunwa Wa'ath Lako Aimwa. Verse 34. Wana Lakad Ath Ko Ayarwa Ba'aith Hahawa'a Wana Ka Rum Ath Ko Ayar Mathum Waha Nashim Waha Tap La'a Hasha Arinawa Sharyad. Verse Habama Bazaznawa Lanawa Washa Lo Ha'aryam Ashira Lakadnawa. Verse 37. Ma'ai Ra'ayr Ashira Ayel Shapath Nakol Ara Nak Salak Aranun Waha'ayar Ashira Bana Ko Wa'aid Haga La'aid La'a Hayatha pardon me. Koryaha Ashira Shagaba Manwa Ath Hakol Nathan Yahweh Alawa Lapanyanawa. Verse 36, last verse. Rock O Arataza Bunyam I Mawan La'a Kwarabath Ko Yad Nakol Yabak Wa'arya Hahar Wako Ashira Taza War Yahweh Alahayanawa. All right, so let's go to the English. I was in the Hebrew. Felt good.
All right.
Felt good. All right, so there's Deuteronomy 2 y 1. 2 y 1.
All right.
2 and 1. Right? 2 y 1. Okay. See? It says, then he turned, so like, then we turned and took our journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea, as the Lord spake unto me, and we compassed Mount Seir many days. And the Lord spake unto me, saying, ye have compassed this mountain long enough. Turn ye northward. Right? So we dwelt in that area in Mount Seir for a while. And after a while, the Most High said, now we got to go up north. Right? So let me see. Can't remember where I had. I lost it. I can't see. Where is the map? I want the one that has. No, I can't see it. It's not the one. So, right. So down here, you see right here, it says Edom, right? So you know, according to the scripture, it tells you that Edom dwelt in Mount Seir. So here it is, we in this region, and that's where the scripture says in verse 3, you have compassed this mountain long enough, turn ye northward. So now Israel has to make this trek going up in this direction, right? So remember, as you see here is Edom, then as you see above Edom is Moab, and then over here, which you can't see is Ammon, right? But the Most High is going to give us instructions on where we're supposed to travel and what we're supposed to do on our journey going northward, right? To those who are watching the live stream, Salat, we can't get the, or haven't learned yet how to get the live stream to project my desktop. Figured it out. I'll figure it out as well a little later on for next time. So it says again, verse 3, ye have compassed this mount long enough, turn ye northward, and command thou the people, saying, ye are to pass through the coast of your brethren, the children of Esau, which dwell in Seir, and they shall be afraid of you. Take ye good heed unto yourselves, therefore. So now in going northward, you're going to pass your brethren, Esau, that's dwelling over here in this area in Mount Seir. When y'all passing through, they're going to be afraid to come out against you. So they're not going to bother y'all. Why? Because the Most High is going to put the spirit on them so they don't bother us. Right? So you see, unto yourselves, therefore, that you act accordingly, right? Because the mount, everything is being controlled by the Most High. Don't, act on your own accord and want to go and do something that the Most High is not sanctioning. Right. So it says in verse 5, meddle not with them, for I will not give you of their land. So when it's talking about meddle, it ain't talking about talking to them or whatever. It's talking about don't look to go into their land and take them over. I didn't give you their land. I gave you the Canaanites' land, the Amorites' land. So you ain't got to go and contend with them, right? It says, meddle not with them, for I will not give you of their land. No, not so much as a foot breadth, because I have given Mount Seir unto Esau for a possession, right? So the Most High has now already, in his infinite wisdom, already determined who's going to dwell where, right? And for Edom, Mount Seir, Esau, that's their land, right? You're the apple, we're the apple of the Most High's eye. We're the servants and the chosen of the Lord. But he didn't give us every land to dwell in at that time. So he said, don't do anything with that land. Don't do anything with that people. Go to Deuteronomy 32. Deuteronomy 32 and 8. So we have verse 5. So Deuteronomy 32 and verse 8. You can read it.
Okay, here we go. Deuteronomy 32, verse 8. When the Most High divided to the nations, they entered inheritance. Thank you, brother. when he separated the son of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the numbers of the children of Israel.
So now when it says when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance. So when we go into the land of Canaan, the Most High is going to now through Joshua gives us the 12 tribes their different lots of land, right? Remember when we read back in Numbers, you had 2 tribes that, listen, we want this land on this side of Jordan, right? And Moses was like, hold on, nah, y'all acting funny because what y'all probably going to do is y'all ain't going to go over there and fight with your brother, right? But then they made an agreement with them and the Most High, with Moses and the Most High that says, nah, this land is good for our cattle and everything that we want to do. We're going to live our wives and our children here. And some of the men going to stay here. But our soldiers, we're going to go fight with them. We're going to go help them conquer the Amorites, right? So you have some that want to stay there. That's within Israel. The Lord is now orchestrating where Israel is going to dwell. But not just Israel. The Most High is already saying here, I'm going to divide the other nations their inheritance. So they have a land that's designated for them. So that's why he's telling Israel, don't go bother Edom. As you now going towards the Amorites to take the land, that land is not yours. I'm not even giving you a foot of a breath of land to give to you. None of that is yours, right? So leave that alone and keep on going. So now when you look at Esau, when you look at Moab, when you look at Ammon, when you look at Elam, when you look at Ham, when you look at all these other nations, the Most High knows who should be dwelling where and where we should be dwelling, right? So he gave everybody their inheritance of land that they own at that time, right? So he's telling us as we go up here, don't mess with this up here. It says, ye shall the screen. All right. So now we are Genesis chapter 9, verse, what did I say, 16?
16.
So now this is after the flood, right? This is after the flood. The Most High destroyed the earth with water, right? Rain 40 days. Noah built the ark, put animals in there. He put him and his wife and his sons and his wives in there. They survived, came out. Now we at that point, right? So verse 16 says, and the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth, right? So the rainbow that's in the cloud, and you see when it rains, that's the testament and the covenant the Most High has with man, that he will not destroy the earth no more with rain, but with fire, right? Verse 17, and the Most High said unto Noah, this is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. So now when we talk about the covenant, there's different covenants. Because if you look in this scripture here, it says the Most High made a covenant with all flesh on the earth, that he will not destroy the earth with water no more, right? So now it's just not for us, Israel, it's for everybody, right? Now, verse 18, and the sons of Noah, this is where I wanted to go to, that went forth of the ark were Shem and Ham and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. Right? Canaan, because Canaan is very much demonstrative in our storyline, because that's whose land we went to go conquer, the land of Canaan, right? Who the Amorites and the rest of them come from. Now, verse 19, it says, these are the 3 sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread. What does that mean? Repopulated, right? Everybody who's on the planet Earth after the flood came from Noah and his 3 sons. Maybe not even Noah, his 3 sons, right? So everybody, the giants came from one of these sons, because that's what the Lord is just telling us. Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And then when we use that just regular observation, archaeology, scripture, when we look at these giants and these men, even today, you still got people who are very tall over there in that land, in that region, in the land of Ham, or in Africa, right? But in that region where we're talking right now, in there, That's where Ham was at. So now the Lord now has Moab, Edom, and Ammon there, and now they have a place in that region in the Middle East, right? Now, I went there because we're talking about giants. So if anybody confuses you and say, oh, no, you know, giants is, you know, they from the angels. The angels came down and had sex with the women, and that's mythology. Scriptures is telling us where the giants came from man.
Hey, hello.
Go ahead.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Prior to a flood, right? Prior to a flood, everybody didn't come from Adam, right? There were other people there that didn't come from Adam.
Correct.
Oh, good. All right. Okay.
Correct.
Here's my question because when I was reading in Genesis, it said when Cain killed Abel, when God told Cain to leave the garden, and he told the other people that was around not to kill him.
Right.
It said, all right, who were these other people? And it said he went to the land of Nod and he found a wife.
Correct.
So, you know what I'm saying? But my whole life I was told that I didn't know about the other people.
Right.
On the church. They never taught me that.
Right.
So, yeah. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
That's right.
So the brother is on point just by using reading the scriptures that there was other nation people prior to Adam, father of Noah, right? One of the fathers of Noah, and of his seed is where all people populate the earth. Now, if it wasn't the case, if the flood never happened, and then you had all these other people that were still around, now it makes it important to know who those other people are. But if they all died off, and you only had one man's lineage left after the flood, that's who now, when the scriptures go into it, that's where now it starts from. So that's when you get into the generations of Ham, the generations of Japheth, the generations of Shem. And then we find out what nations that's in the earth that are populated come from which one of those sons. That's why it's important. So the other people, like the brother mentioned, whoever this wife was that he found, or whoever these other people are that was going to kill him when they found him, they ain't important no more as a nation, because we wouldn't have come out of their lineage, right? We all come out of Ham, Shem, and Japheth now. And that's how we determine our nationality in the earth, based on the father's lineage, right? So now back in Deuteronomy 2, and I'm going to read 11 again. Which also were accounted giants. So those giants came out of Ham, Shem, and Japheth as the Anakims, but the Moabites called them Emims. 12. The Horims also dwelt in Seir before time, but the children of Esau succeeded them when they had destroyed them from before them, and dwelt in their stead, as Israel did unto the land of his possession, which the Lord gave unto them. Now that verse there, when you look at the way it's worded, right? Because we're reading at a time when the Most High is describing this to Moses, they ain't gonna conquer nothing yet, right? They're going up to that place. They're going to the land of Hebron, but they hadn't encountered in the wars yet. Joshua and them hadn't gotten to Jericho to call the wall to fall down. No, but it's already written, which it says, which as Israel did unto the land of his possession, which the Lord gave unto them. That's past tense, right? That's written past tense, but it hadn't happened yet. So why is it written past tense if it didn't happen yet? Remember, this had to be re-given back to us because the records were destroyed. If you remember the time during Ezra was reading, and he was reading about what was going to come, or hearing about what was going to come. And then Ezra said, who's going to be here, or what's going to be left for the generations to come? How are they going to know about our history? Right? So the Most High told Ezra, all right, Ezra, go get these 7 men, and I'm going to put the spirit in you, and you're going to speak, and they're going to write down all this history, all this information now that was burned up and lost. So now we've got the records back again, right? So now during Ezra's time, we had already conquered Israel. We had already changed the name from Jebus to Jerusalem, right? We had already made this change and occupied the land. We were in the captivity because of sin. So when Ezra is writing it, so now you're going to see some names here before it comes to pass that are what's in the future of when the event actually happened, right? So that's how sometimes you got to be able to understand the writing before it even happens. Like sometimes you watch a movie and the movie jumps back and forth, right? It'll jump into the past, and then it'll jump into the future, then it'll come back to the current. And you're like, what the heck is going on? But they kind of giving you the history, and they're giving you the foresight of what's going to happen, and then you come back. So as the viewer watching the show, you kind of seeing both sides. You're like, oh, okay. And now I'm seeing what's going to happen because I know he's going to break his leg. Because you already showed me he's going to break his leg. But now I got to see how he break his leg, right? And then now you watch it in the current, you're like, yo, this guy got a patch over his eye. It never told me how he got the patch over his eye, what happened to his eye. Now you go in the past and you find out. So that's how the scripture sometimes gives you. It gives you that back and forth, right? So that's why sometimes you got to have the spirit of the Most High when you're reading these scriptures, or you got to have the spirit with you as you're reading these scriptures to actually parse it the right way, right? Or have someone who's a teacher guiding you through it. Like you're reading the New Testament when the brother asks you, do you know what you're reading? And he was like, how can I unless someone show me, right? And then you had a brother jump in the chariot with him and break down your Yahushua to him, right? That's how it has to happen sometimes. But now let's go back and read it again, verse 12. The Horims also dwelt in Seir before time, but the children of Esau succeeded them. Why? Because the Most High said that he had given that land to Esau. It wasn't given to those Horims. They occupied the land, but now when time came, the Lord said, okay, Esau, go up and fight against those Horims and conquer them, right? So you can't think that the Most High, even though he's a God of Israel, that he doesn't control all, that he doesn't cause other nations to go fight amongst themselves independent of us, right? Remember when, if you recall in the Apocrypha, when, Josiah, he went out to go fight when the two nations was fighting against each other, and they came and said, hold on, this ain't got nothing to do with you. The Most High told me to go fight against them. But Josiah was stubborn, he didn't listen, and he went and put himself in the mix, and what happened? He got killed, right? Because the king told him, listen, the Lord told me that I got to go fight against them. Most High told Esau, go fight against those Horims over there and take that land. Right. That's your land. Put the inspiration in them to go and make a name for themselves in Seir, because that's what the Lord was going to get them, right? So the Lord controls all, but he has respect unto us, right? No one is above Israel, but he will control all to put things in the manner in which they need to be according to the Lord's will, right? Verse 13, now rise up, said I, and get you over the brook Zered. And we went over the brook Zered, and the space in which we came from Kadesh Barnea until we came over the brook Zered was 38 years, until all the generation of the men of war were wasted out from amongst the host, as the Lord sware unto them. So check that out, right? So the first 2 years, we was all together as a nation. And it's going, because this is pretty much the history of how we got to where we are up until we can start getting into Deuteronomy. So now they're going and going and going and traveling and murmuring and everything else. And in the span of 38 years, people dying off. It wasn't that everybody died off at one time. 38 years it took for them to start dying off. And now we at the 40th year in the 11th month that we read in Deuteronomy 1st chapter. Right now, once we get through this, we now proceed further until later on when we get to Joshua's time. You're going to get a lot of laws being given by Moses in that period. But then it's going to be handed over to Joshua to take the new nation in that has the new law into the land of Canaan to conquer it and then to establish it. Right? So it's a setup. It's a process of time that the Most High has things in the way it is. All right. So all that we read in Numbers, or we read in Numbers, it took a while. That's why I said sometimes don't negate the dispensation of time, right? As you read it from chapter to chapter, and as we was going through Numbers, years was going by for that stuff. It may seem like it was a week or a month, but as we read it here, 38 years transpired till all of them got killed off, right? And now you got the new crop You got Moses still there, Joshua, Caleb, and them there, right? And then when you get to this end of this, after Moses finishes giving them the law, then he goes up into the mountain, dies. He doesn't come out. And then Joshua and Caleb take over, and then you get into our trek to go now start conquering, right? So now, Marie, verse 14 again, it says, and in the space in which we came from Kadesh Barnea until we came over the brook Zered was 38 years, until all the generation of the men of war were wasted out from among the hosts, as the Lord sware unto them. For indeed the hand of the Lord was against them to destroy them from among the hosts until they were consumed. So it came to pass when all the men of war were consumed and dead from among the people, that the Lord spake unto me, saying, so until all that had to happen, then we now started to really make our journey up here, right? To go up into this region, because that was going to really start the next wave. Once we got up there, next places where we're going to reach what we now know as Hebron, but it had a different name back then. And then we're going to start our plight. But this is just a setup.
Okay.
So it says, thou art to pass over through Ar, the coast of Moab, this day. And when thou comest nigh over against the children of Ammon, distress them not, nor meddle with them, for I will not give thee of the land of the children of Ammon any possession, because I have given it unto the children of Lot for a possession. So that's two areas that the Most High said is now given into a possession for the children of Lot. Deuteronomy 32:8, again, he divided to the nations their inheritance, separated the sons of Adam. Right? You over there, and it happens over a process of time to build up and lead up to the end days, or the last days that we in now. Verse 20, that also was accounted a land of giants. Giants dwelt therein in old time, and the Ammonites called them Zamzamims, right? So they had another name. One called them Emims, these called them Zamzamims, right?
These are Africans?
This is Ammon, right? Moab and Ammon.
We talking about the Zamzamims.
Oh yeah, the Zamzamims would be the Hamites that was in that rate in that area. So now
all the giants was of African descent
at that time in that region. That's not to say that no other nation or no other people have tall people, right? Like Moab, what's the dude? Yao Ming. Yao Ming, he's Moab, and he was what? Was he 7'3", 7'?
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
That's why I wanted to know that the second group of people sound like they were talking about the Chinese people being giants, but you said they was all African.
Right, because remember the first one was Moab. Those are the Chinese people. Not their land. They come people down in that land. But they now had these same tall giants of people in there. They had to get out of there, right? It wasn't the Moabites, because the Moabites was in the southern west region already. Now Ammon is taking them and getting them out. When you look at the old ancient Mesopotamian maps, you're going to see where Ham started to dwell at. It was all in that region. Ham was all throughout that region, and then they got kicked out over time, right? And then now the Africa as a whole became their whole land. That became their region. Once the Most High had us conquer and take that land, and Moab took that land, and right, the Most High had that set up, right? Because that's what we read back in the earlier verses where it says the Most High had given that to them for an inheritance. Same way He's given the land of Israel, the land of Canaan, to Israel for an inheritance. How do we get it? We had to fight. Get their land. How did they get it? They had to go fight. Ammon to get their land. How did they get it? They had to go fight because there was people already there. Right. Who's there? And then they just say, "Oh, y'all want this? All right, we're gonna pack up. We're gonna pack up and walk out." No, they went and fought. Right when the conquistadors and the Spaniards came over to this land, it was people already here. Right, and they was accepting like, "All right, we got enough land for everybody." But no, they was like, "Nah, we want this for ourselves." So what they do? They went and fought. Wasn't really a fight. They went and slaughtered, right? Through covertness and slaughtered out the Native and the Seminole Indians. Then they went down further south to the Bodican Islands. They did the same thing to Ephraim and the rest of them. And then they went further south into all those areas down there in South America and started doing it to the rest of the tribes until they now conquered and owned it, right? But now here it is, the Most High has it where we're coming back and we're getting a little bit more control of ourselves first. And then we'll get control over our homeland when the time comes when Christ comes back, right? But right now it's more of a mental building, right? You got to build up the heritage in your mind, right? It's not the kingdom, saying, oh, the kingdom of heaven is here or there, like we read a few weeks ago in Luke, but it's in your mind. It's in your spirit, right? You can feel it. The way you think is where the kingdom is, right? You ain't got to physically be there. It's how your morals and your compasses is. Pourquoi?
That's why it's inevitable that we're going to have a war.
Right.
Because everything from past history to take over, you have to fight.
Yeah.
So your house child is going to come. Nobody's just going to just hand him,
Right. Right.
You're going to have to fight to take it back.
Yep.
We all gonna have to fight.
Yeah, Ezekiel and so forth and so on. The Most High tells us that Amos, he tells us that he's gonna have the angels come. The angels gonna be fighting, just like how the angels fought for Israel back in the day. Right. Angels went out and fought against the Assyrians. You read in the Apocrypha when Judah and them was fighting, the angels came down and protected them, and the angels was fighting for them. Right. The angels gonna come and fight with us. Yeah, exactly. Right. And then it said, and then Israel is gonna be a battle axe for the Most High. So yeah, it's going to be a war. It's going to be a fight in that day when Christ returns, and how the Lord is going to bring that all together to now give us the opportunity to go back and take what was our inheritance. Pourquoi and Yahweh Kanan.
And they pretty much tell you that, even Esau tell you that in the movie, that he's going to fight.
Right.
Yeah, he knows.
He's not going to, even
He's not gonna just give it up.
during Reagan administration, he made a statement about, if alien comes from another planet, we all gotta come together and fight. And the scripture tells you that they're gonna stop what they're doing. They are gonna come together.
Yeah, okay, I got that. We went over that last night in class.
Yeah.
In all the classes,
They're
gonna be fighting each other, but then when they come, they're gonna turn around and start shooting. Let me ask you a question. Was that really a bow and arrow that was shooting light, or was that a ray gun that the angel was using to kill his child?
What, during Judah's time?
Yeah.
A ray gun?
Yeah, it sounds good, though. It sounds good, didn't it? A ray gun. A person that don't understand, what they were shooting, Judah was to shoot like a bow and arrow.
Right, but talking about the angel.
It said arrows of light. So was that really an arrow light? Was that a ray gun?
Now, think of it in this term, right? Because the only reason why we have a ray gun, because that's man's device or man's contraption to say, I'm going to make something and have it, boom, and shoot it. An angel can just, like, how sometimes you see in the movies where they have like superheroes or these, they'll just go like this with their hand and then something forms in their hand and boom, boom, right? Like, why couldn't it be an angel just, because the Most High is given the celestial beings, like Yahushua was more celestial than anything on earth, the power to manipulate elements. So you don't have to have it the way that man has it. I can just take this thing right here and boom, and become and it turns straight. Right? Remember, the Most High gave Moses that. So listen, cast his staff down and it turned into a snake. Right? So it don't have to be, formulated or manufactured in a way like how man does it. The angels can just think and do it.
So it was really an arrow light, wasn't no ray gun.
Exactly.
What is that? You know that?
What's that? What? It's in the Apocrypha in Maccabees. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's in the second Maccabees. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even now we say, okay, we come in, a lot of Israelites are coming in the truth, so on and so forth. And we say Israel is our homeland. We just can't just go over there and take it.
Right. Right. We just can't walk over there and say, all right, we the real ones. This is our land. Y'all gotta leave. Right. You have
real black.
Yeah, because you have not only just you have multiple nations over there. Right. If you watch the documentaries, you have different religious groups, different nations of people that's all there claiming their own space in that region, and it belongs to none of them.
Right.
It belongs to none of them. Then you look at how the Most High had it when the gates were set up back in the day, like you read in Ezekiel, you have the east gate and the north gate. So now you still have some of the old gates to the cities that's still there. And then you got different people that's now in different locations by different gates. And the culture's all different. The people over there by this gate is way different from what's going on over there by that gate. And it's a different nation of people over here by this gate. And you're like, yo, what the heck is going on? It's a whole different vibe everywhere. But none of them should be there, right? None of them are supposed to be there. But they are there because of Israel's sin, right? So the Most High said, you know what? He was going to give it over to the strangers, right? Strangers now inhabit our land, right? It was there. Yeah. I think it's one of those. Yeah, Isaiah 1:7. It says, your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence. And it is desolate as overthrown by strangers of other nations. So they're in our presence right now, dwelling in the land, right? But they said it's desolate. They said, well, hold on. How's it desolate? The people there? That don't make no sense. It's like an oxymoron. No, it means that the rightful culture, the rightful people, the rightful things that's going on ain't there no more. Israel ain't there no more. So according to the land, it's desolate. And then these ravishers that came in and destroying things. They're allowing stuff to go on in the land that shouldn't be going on in the land, right? So until the rightful people come back to the land, it's not really inhabited by the people that should be there, right? So the Lord already set this up. It was prophetic that we would see this day. We've been seeing it since we was born, right? For my generation, so I came into understanding, they've been there, right? We've all now have seen the fulfillment of these verses, and now we're trying to fulfill out the rest of the verses to now be a part of the wave that cleans it up, right? Pourquoi mentioned that as far as for the nuclear war that's got to come, there's certain things that have to have the nuclear bombs come and drop to purge it, right? Fire is not only a judgment punishment, but fire is a purifier, right? It has to come and purify. It has to level, get rid of things and purify it all because it's all polluted, right? A lot of things, that vibe and that culture and everything, I got to get taken out. So the Most High has already prophesied that is going to happen in the earth.
So when they come up with different discoveries on how to make this bomb, this bomb, and this nuclear weapon, if we might think, oh, Esau is wicked. Look what he come up with. The Most High inspired them to come up with those type of weapons. Exactly. For him to use at the end.
Yep.
But he gonna need it.
Yep.
But he gonna destroy
himself. So all the technology, the information that we got, all the Most High allow him to have it so that he can prepare for that because it's necessary for that.
Right. So he's gonna destroy stuff.
Right. So you gotta look at it both ways.
All right. So now we have verse 21. It says, a people, back to Deuteronomy 2:21. A people great and many and tall as the Anakims, but the Lord destroyed them before them, and they succeeded them and dwelt in their stead. So you see that? It says, and the Lord destroyed them, and they succeeded them. So now here it is. The Most High was helping Moab go and conquer these or Ammon go and conquer these Zamzamims.
So he should know. So Moab should know all about the Lord because they saw the Lord destroy their Anakims right in front of their eyes from that scripture.
Right, but if you say Moab should know the Lord or Ammon should know the Lord, who more should know the Lord but Israel?
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
And Israel didn't know the Lord, and we just came out, and he did much more great wonders for Israel than he did for Moab and Ammon. And they had already, we just read it, they was like, yo, we got to get another captain to take us back to where we came from. And you say, hold on, did you forget what the Most High just said and did for you? Right? So if Israel got to that point, and the Most High has done like little crumbs for the nation. These are crumbs type things. This ain't like the big eat at the table. You eating the lamb and the goat and this, you know, this is like, you know, here, take that, you take that, you take that. You good? All right, go sit down. And now I'm dealing with those. We having conversations here at the table. We at the table beefing. Right? We at the table beefing with the Most High. And the Most High was like, all right, get out my table then. If you don't want to bother, get off my table. Get out my house. Right? Be quiet.
And as a matter of fact, all the nations know that the Most High exists. They don't know, as far as knowing the specifics and the law and how, this is our job. To disperse it out and then explain to everybody, mostly our nation, and then, you know, give the understanding, give the sense to everybody. But they all know the Most High exists. They know it. Right. You remember when we were reading the Apocrypha last week? I forgot who they call, right? Elophanes call.
Oh yeah.
Right. And then a stranger was telling Elophanes how to destroy us, how to get us defeated.
Right.
Why he was telling them, here's how you get this Israelite. You get them to go against the law of the Most High, that's it, they done. That's the only way you can get them. But if they keep the law of the Most High, you can leave them alone, you can beat them. So they know about the Most High, they know about us.
Right.
Right.
We're trying to get us to go against the Most High.
From the beginning.
Because they know, like, and to that point, even during the Egyptians' time, we read in Exodus where when the Most High was doing what he was doing, the Egyptians said, yo, let's stop, because their God is fighting for them. Their God is fighting for them. We can't do nothing against them when their God is there. And they said the same thing in the Apocrypha. When they're doing good by their God, don't bother with them. You can't do anything. Now, the other nations, they don't even give a damn about what God you got, this, that, and the third, until now when the Most High flexed. When he flexed on them, then it was like, oh, okay, I got it. I got it, right? He ain't like everybody else in our guys. He's different. So when Israel is on point and he defending them, stay back. Don't even bother, or else you're just going to give yourself an early grade. So to the extent, if we are living harmoniously together under the law, that's it. You can't do nothing.
Right.
Can't do nothing with us, right? We protect it like that.
Right.
But once we start, you know, going over here and going over here, then it's like, oh, it's free lunch now. It's free lunch, right? The heads ain't on them no more. We can go in and start doing what we want to do. No.
So that's why the other nation, they try to entice us.
Right.
Right.
You know, like with the Greeks.
Right.
To have, you know, the Olympics and all of that stuff.
Right.
For us to go out there and do what they do.
Right.
And pull us away.
Right. Or Satan uses the other nations as a form or a vessel to tempt us with their customs and their culture, or their women, or their sons, whatever it is. The Satan will use them as a pawn to tempt us, to steer us further away from the Most High and the commands. Right. And that's just what it is. Then I mean, he'll use the nations, and then he'll use each other. Those who've already veered off, he's going to use them to now tempt us, those who are trying to stay on point, to follow suit, right? So that's what happens.
I remember the point that said, oh, you can eat clean meat, but make it look as if you eat swine's flesh.
Right.
It's like, no, I'm not doing it.
Right. Eleazar. All right, so Deuteronomy 2:22 now. It says, as he did to the children of Esau, which dwelt in Seir, when he destroyed the Horims from before them, and succeeded them, and dwelt in their stead even unto this day. Right? So the Lord helped out Esau. He helped out Moab. He helped out those so-called giants or people that was in the land that was given to them as a possession. Right? Remember, this is crumbs. So don't get somebody spun up and then saying, see, he fight for you, he fight for you, he fight for them too. Yeah, because the objective was that he had given that land for them for an inheritance. And again, this is how you acquire it. Fighting, war, right? War had to happen in order for one people to take over another people to occupy, take that land. History has not changed. It's been the same since back then up until right now. When the country wants your land, they will invade with their military, their tanks, their swords, whatever. They will invade, and then it's now up to you to protect yourself, right? That's like when I was over in Aruba, and I was asking, I was like, y'all got a military here? He's like, nah, we don't have no military. I was like, damn, how y'all defend yourselves? Like, he's like, oh, we get protection from the Dutch, and America also helps us out too. So if anybody tried to come over or invade, and then we got protection from them. They're gonna come help us out. But most people, most countries have a military, right? They got people to go and fight and defend, right?
Standby.
On standby. That's like the rainforest fires is going on down in Brazil. Now they said, okay, they're going to send in the military to come try to help out the stopping the fire. I said, oh, okay, they must have a big military. It's a big country down there in Brazil. Yeah, they got to have a big military. That's one of the interesting things when it comes to war. Like you had World War I, World War II, and all of that. As Brazil and a lot of these other northern tribes that's down in South America, you don't really hear about them participating in global wars like that, right? You don't hear, okay, Venezuela done sent over so many troops to go in Afghanistan, or Peru sent over this amount of people, or this people sent over that amount of people. It's usually America, Canada, and the European countries who become the big allies that now go and fight against, and UK and United Kingdom, that become allies that goes and fight against either China, Russia, or the Ishmaelite countries, right? You don't really ever hear about, the northern tribe participating in that, right? Switzerland's another one. Switzerland has a somewhat of an army, but they don't fight. They're independent. They just want to hold everybody money. Yeah, the Swiss bank, they just want to hold your money. They don't, I'm good. I don't do nothing. And I'm neutral, right? We hold everybody money, right? So we can't, we don't got no. They say they ain't got no respect to persons. They accept all money, just as long as you follow our rules, right? Yeah. Verse 23, it says, and the Avams which dwelt in Hazarim, even unto Azar, the Catarims which came forth out of Caphtor, destroyed them and dwelt in their stead, right? So it's showing you who was in the land and who came and conquered and took over the land unto this day. Now, he gave us that brief history to tell us that, look, the Lord did this for them. Mm-hmm. Get your mind right, get your heart ready, because now he's going to do the same thing for you, right? It says, verse 24, rise ye up, take your journey, and pass over the river Arnon. Behold, I have given into thine hand Sihon the Amorite, king of Heshbon, and his land. Begin to possess it and contend with him in battle, right? So now that was a brief history of what that happened. Your turn. See what I said I did for them? Now I'm doing it for you. Your turn, right? So again, this is going into the history of how we started acquiring certain lands. Verse 25. This day will I begin to put the dread of thee and the fear of thee upon the nations that are under the whole heaven, who shall hear report of thee and shall tremble and be in anguish because of thee, right? So this came into play when you read in Joshua. When Joshua sent the spies throughout the land, right? And they went in, and Rahab found out who they were. And then she told them, listen, let me get that real quick. Joshua, the second chapter, I believe, was the first chapter. Joshua, the second chapter. 9th verse. Joshua 2:9 says, and she said unto the men, I know that the Lord had given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. So we just read where it says, this day will I begin to put the dread of thee and the fear of thee upon the nations that are under the whole heaven, who shall hear report of thee and shall tremble and be in anguish because of thee. They ain't even seen a sword or a weapon or an army or a soldier. They just hearing the report and their hearts melting, right? So back in Joshua 2:10 now. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when you came out of Egypt, and what ye did unto the two kings of the Amorites, what we're reading about now, Sihon and them, that were on the other side Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. And as soon as we heard these things, our hearts did melt. Neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For the Lord your God, he is God in heaven above and in earth beneath. So the fear and the dread, the Most High had already put that spirit in them. So, and if they did come to war, they was already trembling, right? Like in the time of the Maccabees, when Judas came out and it was like 5,000, but he was going out against like 20,000. The dread was already in them, but they standing there to see what's going to happen with Judas. And Judas was like, all right, they blew the ram's horn because the law says it in Numbers 10 and 10, and then they charged on. And once they seen them charging, what happened? They ran. They hightailed it, right? The scripture said they was chopping them down from the hindmost parts, and they was continually going, right? Yeah, and then we're talking about the most dread in them, right? What do you think he was putting in us? He was putting another spirit in us of courage and might, where we was being able to go out there and fight for days. Right. Brother could barely walk in here right now. Back is trouble. Listen, and you had people who was of his age out there running and fighting, right? You talk about a fight. You somebody go out and fight right now in the middle of the street. Within 5 minutes, you dead tired. You done threw probably about 5 swings, 8 swings. You like, man, time out. You time out, right? You like, all right, you got that. All right, I can't go no more, right? Even boxers and MMA guys, they got to take a break in the middle of their fight. These guys was doing hand-to-hand combat. You think they was saying, hold up, time out? We got to take a break, got to rest? Hell no. They was going and going, right? So the Most High was putting endurance and everything in us for us to fight for days and we chasing them down to the next city. We can read it in the Maccabees. They're going from one place to the next place, fighting and chasing them down. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot who was it that said it. He was like 80 years old, and he says, I feel like I am in my youth. Yeah, I feel like I'm in my, and it was like 80 years old, in my youth. Yeah, exactly.
No, the most I call Moses is what, like 80 years old?
Yep, to go and to start going doing.
The mountain too?
Yeah. Man, it's hard for me to climb up 10 flights of stairs right now.
And now you see how it's all start out with the fear, not in the fight itself. They start out with the Most High, make sure that we put their fear in them. When they even mention our name, then they would, tremble.
Right.
So it's the same thing right now. If you look at the state of America, now you have other countries now can stood up to America, whereas before it wasn't the case.
Right.
Now you have North Korea can stood up against America. Now America don't have the fear that the other countries used to have. You see, they don't have that. That's how you see America falling.
Yep. Elkanah.
Yeah, Jeremiah 12 and 5. I just picked it out. Like I said, like getting tired. Jeremiah 12 and 5, it says, if thou hast run with the footmen, and they have wearied thee, then how can thou content with horses? So it's like just with the footmen, and you get wearied,
Yep.
Yeah, with the footmen, you can't even keep up with the footmen.
Man, imagine the horses now, the men on horses coming. All right, so we're back in Deuteronomy 2. We have verse 26 now. It says, and I sent messengers out of the wilderness of Kedemoth unto Sihon, king of Heshbon, with words of peace, right? So now we knew that we were supposed to go and fight against Sihon. The Most High said that he was going to give us that land. But the first thing that they said they did was to go out there and send messengers with peace, right? Wait, hold on. But we're going to go fight.
Why are you sending a message?
Why are you sending messages of peace? Go to Deuteronomy 20. Deuteronomy 20 and 10. What is this? Verse 26.
Deuteronomy 20.
Deuteronomy 20 and 10. So now let's see, understand what this means when it says make peace, right? So Deuteronomy 20 and 10, it says, when thou comest nigh or near unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it, right? So you coming to fight against it, but then the words say proclaim peace unto it. What it's really saying is you giving them the opportunity to surrender. Exactly, right? You giving them the opportunity to say, look, we know who you, like how Rahab was talking about, ain't no man of courage left here. If the men came there and they said, we're taking this place, you got it, right? Just let us live. We'll be servants unto you, right? That's a peaceful exiting of your land, right? We're giving you the opportunity. You can either take it the easy way or you take it the hard way.
And you can see the other nation apply that same law as well. Back to the same what we read. You know, some countries they actually bow down to a local.
Right.
But with us, that wasn't happening.
Right.
Yeah. That's why he was upset. You know why they don't wanna bow down to us just like the other nations. Bow down. He sent people to find out. That's why he called a guy to find out what is it about these people.
So it says, verse 11, and it shall be, if it make thee answer of peace and open unto thee, then it shall be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries unto thee, and they shall serve thee. So the peace wasn't that we were going to live in peace and harmony, just, equals. No, they're not going to go to war. They're not going to have to die. They're going to be servants unto you, right? Verse 12, and if it will make no peace with thee, but will make war against thee, then thou shalt besiege it. And when the Lord thy God have delivered it into thine hands, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword. But the women and the little ones and the cattle and all that is in the city, even all the spoil thereof, thou shalt take unto thyself, and thou shalt eat the spoil of thine enemies, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. So that was the ordinance that the Most High had given Israel when they went into a land, right? That was determined that they should go in. Because remember, Israel just couldn't arbitrarily just go into any land, because he just told them, don't go into Esau's land, because you ain't going to get that. Don't go into Moab's land, because you ain't going to get that. Don't go into Ammon's land, because you ain't going to get that. But go up there near Horeb. Now, when you go there, now go and proclaim peace. And if they don't bow down, then you can go to war, and I'm going to give it to you in their hands. And this is what you can do once you get the land. All right. So now, go to go back to Deuteronomy 20, because it's going to say something interesting here about this same particular law, right? So now in verse 15, it says, thus shalt thou do unto all the cities which are very far off from thee, which are not of the cities of these nations, right? So any city that's far off from where you are in that region, that's what you're supposed to do. Verse 16, but of the cities of these people, which the Lord thy God doth give thee for an inheritance. That's what we're talking about right now. They get the land for an inheritance. Thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth. This is back in Deuteronomy 20 and 16.
Okay, I got it.
I'm going to read it again. But of the cities of these people, which the Lord thy God doth give thee for an inheritance, thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth. But thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites and the Amorites, the Canaanites and the Perizzites, the Hivites and the Jebusites, as the Lord thy God hath commanded thee, that they teach you not to do after all their abominations, which they have done unto their gods, so should ye sin against the Lord your God, right? So,
Land of Canaan.
this is the land of Canaan. and all the tribes of the people that came from out of Canaan, right? Amorites, Jebusites, all of these is Canaanites. So the Lord said, that land that's given to you for an inheritance, don't take no spoils of anything that breatheth. Everything has to go. Before it says, you know, you could take the women and the little ones and the cattle and everything. No, everything got to go. With the most, yeah, because the Lord was very weary on, if you leave any of them alive, they're going to now pollute you into following after their gods, and their ways after their gods was way off. The Most High said, I don't want you to have that linger around, so get rid of them all, right? So now let's go back. That was I stopped at verse. No, I stopped at 18. 18. You're right, 18. And 20, what I just read in Deuteronomy 20, what verse I stopped at is right. So now reading on back in 26, come. And I sent messengers out of the wilderness of Kedemoth unto Sihon, king of Heshbon, with words of peace, saying, let me pass through thy land. I will go along by the highway. I will neither turn unto the right nor to the left. Thou shalt sell me meat for money that I may eat, and give me water for money that I may drink. Only I will pass on my feet, right? So the Lord is already telling them, I'm going to give you the land. But when you go and you talk to them, just say that you just passing through and you just need a little bit of victuals. You're going to pay them for the victuals that they're going to give you. So it ain't like they're giving it to you for free. Just go there and just talk to them like that, right? Verse 29, as the children of Esau which dwell in Seir and the Moabites which dwell in Ar did unto me, right? So when we went by their ways, that's the hospitality that we have with one another. That's what I want to see if y'all going to do for me. Until I shall pass over Jordan into the land which the Lord our God giveth us. Verse 30. But Sihon, king of Heshbon, would not let us pass by him. For the Lord thy God hardened his spirit and made his heart obstinate, that he might deliver him into thine hand, as appeareth this day. Right? So the Most High now intervened and said, go proclaim peace with these stipulations. But I already know I'm gonna make him say no, so that y'all can go fight against them, because I want y'all to take that land. And Israel got to know how to fight against an adversary, right? So this was that opportunity now.
So he hardened their heart.
He hardened their hearts. Give me 1 second here. You can write down 21. Yep. Actually, just write down for a reference. I'm not going to read it because it's talking about, it's going to give you the history anyway. Deuteronomy 21 and verse 23. To 26. Yeah. Deuteronomy 23, 21 to 26, which is linking up with verse 30. So you don't have to go to, just write it down. We're going to continue on because it's going to pretty much say the same thing. So it says in verse 31, and the Lord said unto me, behold, I have begun to give Sihon and his land before thee. Begin to possess, that thou mayest inherit this land. Then Sihon came out against us, he and all his people, to fight at Jahaz. And the Lord our power delivered him before us, and we smote him and his sons and all his people. And we took all his cities at that time, and utterly destroyed the men and the women and the little ones of every city. We left none to remain. Only the cattle we took for a prey unto ourselves, and the spoil of the city which we took. Right? So we just heard the Most High say, don't leave none of them, kill them all.
Right.
Because we don't want to leave none of them alive that's going to stay alive and pollute. Right? Verse 36, from Ar, which is by the brink of the river Arnon, and from the city that is by the river, even unto Gilead, there was not one city too strong for us. The Lord our power delivered all unto us.
Right.
Only unto the land of the children of Ammon thou camest not, nor unto any place of the river Jabbok, nor unto the cities in the mountains, nor unto whatsoever our power, the Lord our power forbade us. Right? So again, this is going into the history that you read in Numbers, right? Because this is the second law, right? It's giving you the history again. So if I could find where it has, I had a map that had so here's Ammon's region right here. Here's Jahaz that we just read, right? And them going up to Heshbon right here, right? So in this area, if you recall, see if I have, I don't think I had that map. If you recall, that's the area, here it is. So here's Gad, and then if you go a little bit further on up, it's Manasseh. So remember when they came and said, hey, we want land on this side of Jordan. That's because they went up and conquered them over in this region right here. Again, Salaki, for those who not here physically in the school, with the new system, I can't figure out how to share my desktop on a live stream. Lord's will, I'll figure it out for the next time so that you can see what we're talking about. But yeah, up in that area right there is where now they came and conquered. And now you see you got Gad over here, and then to the north of that, as they also go and conquer Og, then you're going to have half the tribe of Manasseh that's going to be there. And then Manasseh is already over here also. Later on, they're going to take that region of land, right? But we came from up this way. There's Ar, right? There's Moab. You see Moab right here. Here's Edom down here in Mount Seir. And then we said, all right, we're going to pass around them. And then we came up to these regions that we're reading right now. That's what we conquered, right? And here's Ammon. And then we came all the way up here to Jahaz up in here. Here's Jahaz right here, right? That's what we just read in verse 32, right? So we came up in here and conquered, and then we're going to keep going up north, and we're going to conquer all this. And then that's how they got that land. Before we actually came over to here, where you're going to find Jerusalem and Samaria and all of that, right? So that's just the conquest. All right, so that concludes today's Sabbath service lesson in Deuteronomy 1 and 2. Next week, we're going to be back in Luke. I need to get the exact chapters. Give me 1 second. I'll keep going.
Don't forget about the go in there.
So we're going to be in Luke 20 and 21. 20 and 21. For next was 18, 19.
You heard me?
Say it again. Robert. Oh. Yeah. That was Robert Clark. Also, let me confirm it. Also, next week, yeah, new moon. Next week, the 29th, which is Thursday night, is the 6th new moon. Next week, Thursday night, is the 6th new moon. Next Thursday.
What day is that?
29th. Con. New 6 new moon next week, Thursday night. All right. So with that, we're going to close out today's Sabbath service lesson. We're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High and Christ for the Sabbath service, and as well as the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that was brought forth. Most High's will, everybody was spiritually fed. If you have any questions or anything, more further comments, please write them down, reserve them, bring them up in the classes during the week, and we can go to them a little bit more in depth. To the brother Jay, if you're still online, if you got any more questions or anything you want to talk about, please bring them up during the classes next week, Tuesday or Friday. We can go into them a little bit more in depth as well. Even the same one that you had today, we can further go into them with more detail and with scriptures. All right. So everybody stay tuned.
Before you go, I missed, when did you say the new moon was again?
The 29th, next Thursday night.
Oh, next Thursday, the 29th. Okay, thank you.
Khan, Ayandaba. All right, so stay tuned for the closing prayers. Close out today's Sabbath service lesson. All right. Yeah, for the yeah, I don't know, I always forget, right? I thought about it after the fact.
Mark, can you give some math for us?
Some what?
Some math, so you got no math stuff for us?
Well, it depends. I mean, we can get like a generic map of like, you know, actually what I would have rather have done is to have some of those maps just put up on the walls in the school as reference. But there's different types of maps because you got different time periods, different stages. You know, you got maps of Paul's journeys, maps where Yahushua is, maps when tribes, you know, went to conquer the land. You got all different kinds, tons of different maps. Okay. But it's like main ones that's, you know, generic enough where you can use it for multiple purposes. The one that we'll try to get.
Yeah, well, that'd be good.
All right.
You can go through the website.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you get the plans.
Clean this up. Barakatah Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Asherah Natalanawa Par Yahagaban Tawara Aman La Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Ath Yasha Allah. I mod upon you all Jerusalem stand and face Jerusalem. Oh, Salat, English translation. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the fruit of the vine. Thank you, so be it. To Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, with Israel. So that was the last prayer. Forgot again, right? All right. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Baba Kushai, Shammai, Lanawa, Aitha, Yum Yun, Aitha, Shalat, Maya Ka'ala, Waha Alahayim, Tazwadakim, La, Shema Al, Barak, Rapah, Magun, Wahakaziyat, Bunya, Yasha Allah, Washalat, Lanawa, Rabium, Kakama, Rabium, Da'ai, Rabium, Bayana, Rabium, Sabalanwa, Rabium, Amawan, Rabium, Aqua, Rabium, Ahabium, Rabium, Haganah, Rakanaya, Wasalat, Ko, Kata Ayamnawa, Laha Akim, Wa Akwa, Wayasha Allah, Yad, Wa Iwalam, Bahasham, Yahawashai, Yad, Thawada, Amun. English translation. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, or the Most High, in the name of Christ, pleases to us now, right now. Send Michael and the righteous powers of angels to watch over, bless, heal, protect, and make strong the children of Israel. And send to us much wisdom, much knowledge, much understanding, much patience, much faith, much brotherhood, much love, much spiritual protection, and forgive all our sins for the brothers and sisters in Israel, always and forever. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Four corners prayer. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barak Nawa, Wayash Allah, Wabak Yasaparim, Shema, Yasharella, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh, Achad. All right, English translation. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, the Most High, in the name of Christ, bless us in Israel and the house of books or schools. And also Deuteronomy 6 and 9, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power. 6 and 4, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one power. All right. So with that, we want to say shalom or peace to the brothers and sisters listening and watching this Sabbath service. Most High's will, everybody has a blessed and tawab, a good remaining Sabbath service in upcoming week. And Most High's will, we'll hear or see each other during the classes upcoming. All right. Again, shalom, peace and blessings.